Ayan. So, hello. For our next discussion, IAS2, which pertains to the standard, stating specifically those incorporated for inventories. And it's just a 14 pages standard statement. So let's now go through these document. Okay. Actually, this is just a review already of what you've discussed and what you've studied before. So, again, scanning through the contents of this standard statement, let's focus on the objective, the scope. Well, we just have to read this section and then the definitions and the measurement of inventories down to recognition, disclosure, and I think ayun lang, no? Sige. It's a quick discussion lang naman. Okay, so okay, objective. The objective of this standard is to prescribe the accounting treatment for inventory. So again, kapag sa mga exam questions during your quizzes or practice or assignments, pagka nakikita nyo sa start ng statement na IAS2 states that, so there were instances kasi talaga na sa test bank, hindi na ibibigay yung definition ng standard. So, pag sinabing IS2 states that, and then diretso na yan sa ABCD. So, kung hindi tayo familiar, even just for a broader sense, so, mahirap for us, di ba, masagatan yung question. So, excuse me, again, a primary issue in accounting for inventories is the amount of the cost to be recognized as an asset and carried forward until the related revenues are recognized. So, as we all know, inventories is an asset, and it is, di ba, ang definition ng asset is something that you have the right, you have the control, and then at the same time, you're expecting to benefit out of it. So, same with inventories, di ba? As you can see, inventories mo to matuturing if you have the control and then you have the right. Not necessarily na dapat nasa iyo yung custody or dapat nasa iyo physically inventory. Pero yung underlying assumption kasi dito is that the right and the control should be into you. So, and then, since it is an asset and it is an account under the statement of financial position, which is yung mga account na nakalista is as of. So, yung balances nito is nakikarry forward lang into the next period, diba? Okay, so this standard provides guidance on the determination of cost and its subsequent recognition as an expense, including any write-down to net realizable value. I assume that you've already discussed and you've already encountered this term, net realizable value. It is where an asset, it is an amount wherein the asset, wherein you can recover the asset, or you can an amount wherein you can sell the asset. So, ito na yung value ng asset, di ba? After a certain period. And it also provides guidance on the cost formulas that are used to assign cost to inventories. Okay. So, scope. Okay. So, isa din to pala, no? That's why I've already mentioned earlier that at least we've familiarize ourselves on a broader sense with the scope. Kasi, for example, this standard, IAS2, it applies to all inventories. Yes, all inventories except financial instruments. Kasi financial instruments, may sariling standards yan. So, hindi yan sakop ng IAS2. Kung ano yung mga standard or criteria na sinet out for inventories dito sa IAS2 will not be applicable for financial instruments. So kindly know the difference. Okay. And then it is not applicable to biological assets kasi meron siyang separate standards na nag-govern sa kanya. It's IAS 4 41, agriculture. So kindly take note of that also. Pero there is still exception to that exception. So itong biological assets, if and only if the nature of the business is that itong biological assets is ito yung inventory niya talaga. By nature, ito talaga yung kanyang business, line of business. Well, you could also try to revisit this IAS2 in line with IAS 41, no? Kasi ang lalabas kasi is that ang main line of operation mo or ang source ng revenue mo, you cannot earn revenue if hindi mo gagalawin yung inventory mo, which is yung biological asset. Which is on that case, you have to consider this IS2, which pertains to inventories, di ba? Okay, so it does not apply to the measurement of inventories held by producers of agricultural and forest products and commodity broker traders. And so definitions. Kindly familiarize yourselves with these terms. Okay, so inventories are assets. Letter A, held for sale in the ordinary course of business, in the process of production for such sale, or in the form of materials or supplies to be consumed in the production process, or in rendering the services. And that realizable value, again, kindly revisit yourselves with that. So it's the estimated selling price in the ordinary course of business less the estimated cost to set, cost of completion, and estimated cost necessary to make the sale. So for example, um, meron kang inventory na let's just say na yung inventory mo is computer. Okay. So computer, estimated selling price mo is 100. And then, yun yung selling price in the ordinary course of business. Estimated cost to complete, kasi like for example, you have to install pa yung mga antiviruses that is needed for the computer to perform as it is intended to. So let's just say na magko-cost yun ng let's say 200. So 1,000 is the selling price, and then 200 is estimated cost of completion, and then estimated cost necessary to make the sale. Let's just say na you need 50 pesos kasi yung 50 pesos is for commission para dun sa agent na nagbebenta. So 1,000 less 200, tama ba? 1,000 less 200 less 50, so that's already 750. So the net realizable value of the inventory that you have is 750. Okay, and then fair value, it is the price that could be received to sell an asset or paid to transfer a liability in an orderly transaction between the market participants at the measurement date. Okay, fair value. And then measurement of inventories. So inventory shall be measured at the lower of cost and net realizable value. Kindly take note of this criteria na inventory shall be presented in the statement of financial position at the lower of cost and net realizable value. Kasi you really have to disclose if magkano na lang ba talaga yung NRV niya if time will come na the NRV is lower than the cost. Kasi 'di ba parang yung cost, yun kasi yung there were times na mas mataas yung cost kaysa NRV. Kasi 'di ba nagdi-deplete minsan yung or nagkakaroon ng loss or I mean parang um, bumababa yung value ng inventory that you have the longer na hindi mo siya nabebenta. So, ayun. And then, cost of inventories, it shall comprise, okay, so, ito, ano na lang to, review ng mga past discussions nyo before. So, it comprises what? cost of purchase, cost of conversion, cost incurred in bringing the inventories to their present location and condition. So again, you have to incorporate sa cost ng inventories yung mga cost na na-incur mo which are necessary to bring the inventory to their present location and condition. Cost of conversion, yan. Kindly take note of that. And dito yung mga costs, they were defined therein. Kindly familiarize yourselves. Talagang ito, I assume, ito din yung mga nabasa nyo. Pero still, there were interpretations na baka lang minsan nag-deviate dito sa standard. So please kindly read these paragraphs which pertains to the kung ano lang yung scope ng mga cost na to. So yan, cost of purchase, yan, yung transport, handling, other costs, and yan, trade discount, rebates are deducted in determining the cost of purchase. Okay, so kindly familiarize yourselves kasi mahalaga na malaman niyo yan as we go along the financial accounting reporting solving. So, at least smooth na lang yung discussion natin. And then the cost of conversion, kindly familiarize yourselves. And again, kindly read this paragraphs para hindi na tayo hirap pag nag-discuss tayo for problem-solving purposes. And then other costs, okay, which are necessary to bring the inventory in their present location and condition. And then cost of agricultural produce harvested from biological asset. Okay, you may revisit this. Mhm. Okay, mahalaga din to, no? Kindly familiarize yourselves with this. Cost of agricultural produce harvested from biological assets in accordance with IAS 41 Agriculture. Inventories comprising agricultural produce that an entity has harvested from its biological assets are measured on initial recognition at their fair value, less cost to sell at the point of harvest. This is the cost of inventories at that date of application of this standard. Okay, so I think we'll look for an actual board exam question problem na makakapag makikita natin yung example nito. And then techniques for the measurement of cost. Okay. Ito, I think you've already discussed this during your undergrad years, standard cost method, and the retail method. So, kindly revisit this. So, the retail method is often used in the retail industry for measuring the inventories of large numbers. That is too technical. Well, hindi naman siya talaga lumalabas sa board exam wherein isolve mo siya ng talagang one by one. Pero still, you have to familiarize yourselves if paano pa siya ginagawa kasi baka mamaya merong work back pala na problem. So, at least alam nyo, di ba? And then cost formulas, kindly read this section. Cost of inventories, FIFO. Okay. The concept of FIFO, the concept of neutralizable value, and then kindly read the paragraphs, maiksi lang naman kayo. Recognition as an expense. So, when inventories are sold, the carrying amount of those inventories shall be recognized as an expense. Not literally as expense, pero it pertains to cost of goods sold or cost of sales in the period in which the related revenue is recognized. So, ito yung ano nga yung term na yun? Parang the expense follows the revenue. So, I forget the term. Anyway, baka naalala nyo naman. So, yun. Kung kailan mo ni-recognize yung revenue, yun din yung period na i-recognize mo yung related expense sa kanya. Hindi pwedeng mahuli. Okay. And yung logic naman is, reasonable naman. Kasi syempre, kung kailan ka kumita, then yung puhunan mo, yung puhunan or yung nagastos mo for that should also be recognized into that period. The amount of any write-down of inventories to net realizable value and all losses of inventories shall be recognized as an expense in the period the write-down or loss occurs. So, additional yan to cost of goods sold or cost of sales. The amount of any reversal of any write-down of inventories arising from an increase in net realizable value shall be recognized as a reduction in the amount of inventories recognized as an expense. So, kung ito yung cost of goods sold natin, nag-i-account, di ba? Na ito yung for the period, nag-record ka, any reversal should be recorded here. So, kung magne-net, most probably dapat mag-net yan dito. So, yan. Okay, so disclosure, kindly familiarize yourselves kung ano yung mga required na i-disclose pertaining to the inventories. You don't have to memorize them word by word, but at least you have to familiarize yourselves with those items. And I think hanggang dun lang kasi itong effective date, this pertains to the history na nung standards itself. So, I think ayan lang yung for inventories, IAS2. So, ayun. Okay.